Hello, how do I file Form 944 if I only paid wages but no Social Security, no Medicare? So one of us asked me that question or asked us that question, how do I file if I only pay wages but no SS, no Medicare? Well, if you pay wages or if you pay somebody working for you, but that person is not your employee, then you pay them as contractor. You don't need to withhold Social Security or Medicare from their income. You if you pay them 600 or more, you will file 1099 miscellaneous or 1099 NEC with IRS and give them a copy so that they can file their business return with it. But if who you pay is your employee, it is your responsibility to withhold Social Security and Medicare out of their wages. But if you didn't know and you didn't withhold it, or if you pay them while you pay them does not qualify for Social Security and Medicare, then when you are filing your Form 944, you will put on line 1 how much you pay them. Line 2, federal tax income withheld will be blank. But then line 3, we will check this box. So when you check this box, you are saying that no wages, tips, or other compensation are subject to Social Security. So for that reason, this line will be blank. So let's see if I can make a copy of this form. And you put how much you pay them. You would, let's go back to the original one and uncheck this box and come back to this one and check it, that no wages that we pay is subject to Social Security and Medicare. So in that case, those lines will remain blank here. It will remain blank, and because they say go to check here and go to line 5, so that means your line 4 will remain blank as well. And your line 5 is asking total tax before adjustment to total line 2 and line 4E. So that means your line 5 is going to remain blank. And we will go to the instructions to see what line, if it's blank or if it's 0, we should leave it blank or put 0 there. Except line 9. So we'll go back to our form. So line 7 is total tax after adjustment. It's taking line 5, which is 0 in this instance, and line 6. So that means line 7 is going to remain blank. Line 8 is going to remain blank if we do not have any credit there. And line 9 is taking line 8, is taking line 7 minus line 8. So it's going to be 0. If we go back again, leave blank any data field with 0 except line 9. So line 10, did you make any deposit to IRS? So if you didn't withhold Social Security or Medicare, chances are you didn't deposit any payroll tax to IRS. either. So therefore, we are going to leave this blank because what they are asking you here is, did you deposit, did you pay any payroll tax to IRS? Payroll tax that you collect from your employees and your employer portion and remit it to IRS. Did you do that? That's why they are asking you on line 10. It will remain blank. Line 11, balance due. If line 9, so you will pretty much take line 9 minus line 10 is going to be 0. You don't owe tax, they don't owe you a refund. So from here, you will go to part 2, you put your business name, business identification number. Line 9 is less than 2,500. Yes, because it's 0 here. So therefore, you leave this session and you'll check that first box and you'll go to part 3. And part 3, the business is now closing. We leave a blank. And part 4, who do you want IRS to contact if they have question? Yourself. Therefore, you can just check no and leave that yes blank and check no. And part 5, you'll put your name, your title, you put your phone number, you review the form, you print it out, you sign it, you date it, you make copy for your business. You leave the paper session alone because you are not filing it for a client. If you are filing it for a client that is going to pay you, then you will complete the pre-prepare use only session with your business, your tax prepare business information, including your name, your PTIN, your business EIN, your business address. And you will print it, sign it, your client will sign it, you make copy for your record, you make copy for the client to keep, and you mail the original, or the client mail the original. And the voucher, you are not going to print it out because again, you don't owe tax, therefore you are not going to print this out. So that is one way to file this form. If you pay wages, that is now subject to Social Security and Medicare tax. So if how much you pay in wages during the year is subject, and let's continue, let's finish this one. So when you file it like this and you print it out, you'll go to instructions and you will look for where you will mail this. And because you are now going to include payment and the voucher in the envelope, you are going to choose without a payment, the address there that corresponds to where your state is located. And for Iowa, this is the address without a payment included in the envelope with Form 944. Because again, you don't owe payroll tax to include a check or a voucher, a Form 99V voucher in the envelope with the Form 944. So you will mail it to this address under without a payment that corresponds to where your state is located. So that is one case. The case where you pay wages that is not subject to Social Security and Medicare. So that is one case. The second case is what I said earlier. If you pay wages, if you pay people that work for you, but they are now your employees, you didn't pay them wages, they are contractor, so you are going to give them 1099. If your business is required to file Form 944, you are going to file Form 944 like if you didn't have employee, because you didn't pay wages, you pay contractors. They are now wages, they are now your employees. In that instance, we are going to make a copy again. In that instance, you are not going to have any wages here at all. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Let's close this one. And save this one. And then we can delete this and make a copy again. Okay. So when you pay contractors, they are now your employees. You are not going to withhold Social Security. You are not going to withhold Medicaid tax. You are not going to withhold income tax from their income. They are contractor. They are now your employees. So if your business is required to file Form 944, you are still going to file Form 944. But when it comes to Part 1, wages, tips, and other compensation, you are going to leave that section blank because you didn't have employees. You have contractors that you pay. You are going to file 1099 miscellaneous or 1099 NAC, especially 1099 NAC with IRS, and give them a copy for them to file their business tax return. So your Form 944 that your business is required to file, you are not going to put here how much you pay those contractors. It went on your 1099 NEC or 1099 miscellaneous. So here you are going to leave line 1 blank. You are going to leave line 2 blank. Line 3 you will check it. Just in case I'm not blocking your view, let me switch here. Sorry about that. And line 4 will remain blank because you check line 3, and line 4E will remain blank, line 5 will remain blank, line 6 will remain blank, line 7 will remain blank, line 8 will remain blank, line 9 will have 0, 0 because again you didn't pay wages, you didn't collect Social Security tax, Medicare. They are contractor. They are going to take care of those themselves. So your line 10, that means you didn't deposit any payroll tax or IRS, will remain blank. Your line 11 will remain blank. You don't owe tax, they don't owe you a refund. So line 11, line 12 will remain blank. So again, part 2, line 13, you will check that because again your line 9 is 0. And then part 3 will remain blank if the business is not closing. Part 4, you check no. Part 5, you complete the way you completed before, and the voucher will remain blank because again you are required to file Form 944. You file 0 tax return Form 944 because you don't have employees. So that is the second way to file that Form 944 if you have contractors, not employees. So the third way you will file this if you pay wages but didn't withhold Social Security and Medicare. So that means those people are your employees. That's why you say you pay wages. So if they are your employees, you're supposed to withhold Social Security and Medicare. If you didn't withhold it, one way I will do that, or the way I will do it, is to assume that you pay them the after tax money. Let's just take an example that we have 2 people working for us and we pay them $100 each, and later we are going to file Form 944. We didn't withhold Social Security, we didn't withhold Medicaid tax. So how much you pay them, you are going to consider that is now how much you pay them. You pay them more than that, but you withheld Social Security and Medicare out of it before you gave them how much you gave them. So you are going to work backward to see how much you will have paid them. And when you withhold Social Security and Medicare, the residual will be how much you gave them after tax wages. So if we gave, and in that case, you the business owner, your business is going to pay both the employee portion of Social Security and Medicare and the employer portion of Social Security and Medicare. And you can just assume you didn't withhold federal income tax because that is withheld by the employee only. And if the wages is now allowed, then you don't need to pay that on their behalf. But when it comes to Social Security and Medicare, because you and your business, the employee and the employer are supposed to pay half-half, you just have to pay that 100% and put their portion into their gross wages. So if we pay $100 to those people each, well, we are going to pay their Social Security and their Medicare tax on their behalf for them. So when I come back here, I'm going to just zero that one out and I'm going to work backward to it. Because I'm using a spreadsheet, I'm going to use a goal seek here, but you can manually try to do that. But I think there is a formula. One year I explained it with a formula that can help you figure out as well. But frankly, I don't know if I remember how I did it. Because again, I have a spreadsheet that can do it for me. So I'm going to go on, and I think these days, if you ask AI that you pay $100 to somebody, how much the gross wages will be, assuming you withheld Social Security and Medicare out of their money before you gave them that $100, AI should be able to give you that amount. So I'm going to go under data here and I'm going to go under what if analysis and click on goal seek and put 100 there where the formula is, my final number is 100, and then by changing this cell. So if that ending cell is $100, how much this cell will be? So I'll click it there. That is where the formula is, and this where the 100 is has formula and this area does not. So you'll find that number for me. But again, there is a formula that can work as well, and there is but again, these days with AI, you should be able to determine that. So you are going to assume you pay them not $100, that is after tax money, but you pay them $108.28. So, but then your business is going to give IRS that $8.28 in Social Security and Medicare, and your business is going to pay $8.28 for the business portion as well, because you have employee portion $8.28 and then you have you the business owner will have employer portion. But because how much you and the employee agree upon when it comes to wages, you are going and you already gave them the money, you are going to pay both. But then you let them know, because on their W2 you are going to show 108.28, not 100. So, but your business is going to pay those Social Security and Medicare twice. So you are going to complete Form 944. Like if you withheld Social Security and Medicare, you will put that the gross 216.56 in on line 1. If you didn't, withhold federal income tax, you leave it blank. If you pay them a lot though, the money you are supposed to withhold this as well. So if you are willing to pay on their behalf, then your business is going to pay. You are going to put it here and you are going to add it to their gross. Let's say it's like $50, like let's say $25 each, then 108.28 plus $25 113.28 is what you are going to put on each one of their W2 that you pay them. And when it comes to this form, times 2 is going to be 266.56 you'll put here, and then you'll put $50 here for federal income tax withheld. The gross will be here. Your federal income tax withheld will be $50, 25 each will be here, but it's coming out of your pocket. And on their W2, you'll include it in their gross, not just that $100, but how much your business pay on their behalf for federal income tax, for Social Security, and for Medicare. And then you'll complete this form just like the way you'll complete how to file Form 944, if wages are paid. So you'll put the taxable Social Security on line 4. You are not going to check bursary. You are going to calculate the employee and employer portion of those Social Security and Medicare and put it in column 2. And line 4 will have the total of column 2. And line 5 will have, the Social Security and Medicare, and line 2, if there is anything there. And line 7, total tax after adjustments will be line 5 and 6, so it's going to have that total there. And line 8, here we are going to leave a blank, there is no credit to claim. And line 9 is going to be, line 7 minus line 8 is going to still be our 3313. And line 10 is going to be, did you make any tax deposit to IRS? Here we say we made deposit to IRS, so we will put it here. If you didn't, then you are going to have a blank spot here. And then the balance due is going to be line 9 minus line 10. So if you didn't make any deposit to IRS, you are going to owe the same amount you have on line 9 here. And you didn't make any overpayment, so line 12 will remain blank, but amount you owe will be on line 11. So when you go to part 2, again, line 9 is $33, is less than $2,500. So you will check the first box, you will go to part 3, and it's going to remain blank because we are not closing the business. Part 4, you will check no, because if they have questions, they can contact you. Part 5, you will put your name, your title, your phone number, and pre-preparator use only will remain blank if you are filing it for your business. And for the voucher, well, if you sign up with for an account with IRS, there is no point of completing the voucher. You just log into your IRS account and make that $33.13 payment. Otherwise, you'll put that $33.13, your business EIN, your business name, your business address, and you'll print out this voucher. You'll cut it, you'll complete a check with the information they have here, and remembering to add Form 944 for the year you are filing, let's say for 2025, and add your business EIN number on that form and put who you are sending it to, your United States Treasury, on the check. I prefer check than money order. So that way, when they cash it, the transaction will reflect on your account, but the check has more space for you to pull those information clearly in an eligible way as well. And you'll take that check, that voucher, and the form is 2 pages. You'll staple the form, page 1, page 2 together, but then you'll have the form, the voucher, and the check, 3 things in the envelope that you will mail to IRS. If you prefer to just log into your ETFS account and make the deposit or the payment, then you don't worry about the voucher. You don't take it out. You owe $33.13 in this example. You just print this page 1 and page 2 out. You staple, you put in the envelope, and you mail it to the address that is without a payment corresponding to your state. And then you go to IRS website. and pay EFTPS, and you log in. You log in through Adimi, I think, yeah, and you know, you log into your account and you make your payment and be done with it, and you send it without a payment. But if you want to send it with a payment, then you will use the colon with a payment. That means you are putting voucher and check in the envelope with the form 944. You send it to with a payment colon address that corresponds to where your state is. In this instance, Iowa, that will be the address, and that's where you will send that envelope, and you mail your form 944 via USPS certified mail, so that you can have that green slip with a tracking number. You can file the receipt and that green slip with a copy of your return for your business record to prove that you mail it and you mail it on time. And once they check that check, it will go through your business bank account, and you can have a confirmation that you pay them and they got the money as well. So that is another traceable trail that confirm that they got that envelope. So that is the way I will that is the third way I will address this issue. If wages are paid and no Social Security or Medicare were withheld from those wages, I will add it on top of it. It will show up on the W2. They got the nets, but the gross will show up on the W2 and will show up on this form. And your business is going to pay both employee and employer portion. And you learn from it, and next time you let them know in the following year, as you are paying them, you will withhold Social Security and Medicare out of their wages, so that your business doesn't have to pay for them. And if they are subject to federal income tax, you can go through a publication 15T and find, they have multiple ways. Find one that is easy for you to understand, to be able to calculate how much you need to withhold from their income for federal income tax. Your business doesn't pay, the employee is the only one to pay. So they have multiple options here, and I can go to this one, and you will give them W4. It's just a form that will tell you, they will complete it to tell you how much they want you to withhold from their, if they want you to withhold more or less as a tax from their wages. And you'll come here and use that with this calendar here or schedule here to see each time you pay them, the brackets they fall within what they chose to be tax like, and find the corresponding based on how often you pay. Let's say you pay weekly. If you pay weekly, and let's just find one that has dollar amount, and let's say you pay them maybe $390. If I can find something to color. No, it's not working well. Let's see if I can. Okay, so let's go back here. So 390. Let's just keep in mind that we are now choosing the right. So 390 is going to be between 385 and 395, because they say at least but less than. So if they say, you know what, I want to pay the highest tax because I have side business and I don't want to, to make deposit to IRS estimated tax, let me just with the work that I'm doing for you, just withhold the tax that will be high enough to cover my side business income. So then if they choose like tax me as a single when they are married, when they are filing the 1040, the tax bracket will be lower, but they want you to tax them as a single, for instance, and you are paying them $390 on a weekly basis. Then each time you are paying that $390, you will need to withhold $10 out of it. $10 out of it and give them $380 instead. And that is if they choose standard withholding. If they check this box that to withhold even higher tax, then you'll take $27 out of their income. And whatever that $290 minus $27 is what you give them, and how much you are withholding from them from their income for federal income tax. You need to record that so that when you are filing the W-2 and your Form 940, you can, put those total on your forms accurately. So yeah, thank you so much for watching our videos. Those are the 3 ways I will handle this issue. So it's up to you to see which way fits better your situation and go from there. So thank you so much for your time. And with this form though, this spreadsheet is designed, if I recall right, it's designed with this option in mind, and you can just use those instead of each time doing the calculation. Use that to design the spreadsheet so that you can make entries, and you can pull a report from your main entry to calculate the different federal tax business tax return or employer tax return, whether it's Form 944, Form 941, those is either. And then Form 940, which is unemployment tax return, and W-2, W-3 for Social Security Administration, and yeah. So, and when you are filing your business tax return, whether it's 1065 or 1120S or Schedule C, the total wages you pay, you'll be able to come back and find the summary to work with as well. So thank you so much for your time. We thank you very much for watching our videos. Thank you for all your comments, and thank you for all your questions. That help us think about scenarios, how we will address that issue, and explain our opinion with you. Keep in mind, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax lawyer. I have business degree. I like taxes. I file my own business tax return, and I like to share my knowledge. And I have previous work experience in tax preparation. I have tax business, but I don't file taxes for people. I just file for my own businesses. That allows me to continue keeping my knowledge related to tax somewhat up to date, and sharing that knowledge with you still help me keep my tax knowledge somewhat up to date. So thank you so much. It stretches my brain when I get those questions, how I will solve that issue. I will share my opinion with you. But again, it's for educational purposes. Use that information to the best, using your best judgment on it. So thank you so much. We thank you very much for watching our videos. Thank you for all your comments, and we thank you very much for subscribing to our channel. I'm Afiavi Libreman, Cross of Libreman Consulting, L.L.C. YouTube channel, and ninasoap.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And filing your own business tax return is one way to keep your business expenses low, as you are giving a chance to your business to take off. And at the same time, you are learning how to track your financial data in a way that uh, tax season is not too stressful for you, it's stressful already, you want to make it a little bit breathable for yourself. And when you hand this work to somebody to file it on your behalf, you already know what to track and you have been tracking it. You'll be able to give them that information for them to file the return accurately for you, because either way you are going to sign it, that means you are fully responsible for the numbers put on the return, whether you file it yourself or somebody file it for you. So knowing how you need to track those as your business is young and is growing, you already have the structure in place. So thank you so much for your time. We do have some other task related um, videos, and we have the playlist. You can check it out. If any interest you, they will be in the description of this video. Thank you so much for your time. And when you have time, you can go to IRS website to pull publication 15T. They will release 2026 one for you to skim through, to and then they have publication 15 circular E that you can read through, because it's good for employees, no, employers. It's, they say employers tax guide, so I think it's good for any young business owner to read through and highlight things to see if there is something here that you need to implement for your business, as we are still at the beginning of uh, the year, so that as so that you can start following those rules and work within the guideline that is set for us. And this is just federal. If you are in a state that require state income tax, you need to figure out how much to withhold from those wages for the state as well. So thank you so much for your time. Good luck with your business.